At my age, I never expected to sit alone on my 60th birthday, staring at a phone that didn't ring. But that's exactly where I found myself last Thursday. No calls, no texts, not even a Facebook message from the two people I spent 30 years raising. If this sounds familiar, stay with me. You can like and subscribe. We talk about things we don't say out loud here. Let me take you back to how it started. My name is Janet. I'm 60 years old and I have 2 children. Michael is 35 and Sarah is 32. I thought I had done everything right. I worked 2 jobs to put them through college. Michael graduated debt-free with an engineering degree. Sarah got her MBA without taking out a single loan. I was so proud. But somewhere along the way, something changed. Or maybe it didn't change at all. Maybe I just finally noticed. It was a Tuesday morning, 3 weeks before my birthday. I was sitting at my kitchen table with my morning coffee when my phone rang. It was Michael. My heart lifted the way it always does when I see his name on the screen. "Hey, baby," I said. "How are you?" "Hey, Mom." "Listen, I'm in a bind. The transmission on my car went out and the repair is $2,800. I know it's a lot, but I'm already stretched thin with the mortgage and Melissa's student loans. Can you help me out?" I felt that familiar tightness in my chest, the one I'd learned to ignore over the years. "When do you need it by?" I asked. "Today, if possible. The shop needs a deposit to start the work." I looked at my bank account on my laptop. The balance showed $4,200. That was supposed to last me until the end of the month. But this was my son. "I'll transfer it right now," I said. "Thanks, Mom. You're a lifesaver. I gotta run." "Talk soon." He hung up before I could ask about his kids, before I could tell him about the doctor's appointment I had that afternoon, before I could just hear his voice a little longer. I transferred the money. $2,800. Then I sat there, staring at my new balance, $1,400 for the next 18 days. That was on a Tuesday. On Thursday, Sarah called. "Mom, I need a favor." Her voice had that tone, the one that meant she wanted something. "What's going on, honey? Jake and I are taking the kids to Disney World next month. We've been planning it forever, but the hotel costs more than we budgeted. Can you help with $1,500? I know you just helped Michael, but this is for your grandkids. They're so excited." I felt something shift inside me, something small but noticeable, like a pebble dropping into still water. "Sarah, I just sent Michael almost $3,000 on Tuesday. I'm running pretty low until my next check." "It's for the kids, Mom. Don't you want them to have good memories?" That sentence, those words, they hit me in a way I didn't expect. Don't you want them to have good memories? As if I was the one being selfish. As if saying no meant I didn't love my grandchildren. "Let me see what I can do," I heard myself say. "Thanks, Mom. You're the best. I'll text you my Venmo." I started thinking, really thinking. Not the kind of thinking where you push uncomfortable thoughts away, Michael's car transmission. Last year, it was $3,500 his roof repair. The year before that, $2,000 for his wife's medical bills. Before that, $1,800 for their vacation to Cancun because we really need a break, Mom. Sarah's Disney trip. Last month it was $900 for school supplies and new clothes for the kids. Before that, $1,200 for her kitchen renovation. Before that, $2,500 to help with their down payment. I opened my banking app and went through my transaction history 6 months back, then a year, then 2 years. The numbers started adding up in my head. $47,000 in the last 2 years alone. $47,000. I felt dizzy. I thought about my own life. I drove a 2008 Honda Civic with 80,000 miles on it. The air conditioning had been broken for 2 years. I told myself I didn't mind. I thought about the dental work I'd been putting off because my insurance didn't cover it. $4,000 I didn't have, somewhere I could rest. I hadn't taken a vacation in 7 years. But my children went to Disney World. My son drove a 2022 SUV before the transmission went out. My daughter just renovated her kitchen. I wasn't angry, not yet. I was just noticing, really noticing for the first time. That night, I didn't send Sarah the $500. I told her I couldn't. She didn't call back. She texted, "Okay, we'll figure it out." 3 weeks passed. My birthday came. I woke up that Thursday morning with a strange feeling of anticipation. Maybe they'd surprise me. Maybe they'd show up. Maybe this year would be different. By 8 p.m., my phone still hadn't rung. Sat in my living room alone with a store-bought cupcake I'd gotten for myself. I put a single candle in it. I lit it. I sat there looking at the flame. And that's when I finally asked myself the question I'd been avoiding for years. When did I become nothing more than a bank to my own children? I didn't always feel like a bank. There was a time when I was just mom. When I was the person they ran to with scraped knees and bad dreams. When my hugs could fix anything. Michael was born when I was 25. His father, my ex-husband David, left when Michael was 3. Just walked out one Tuesday morning and never came back. Child support? I saw maybe 6 payments in 12 years, so it was just me and Michael. Then Sarah came along 2 years later. Different father, same story. Gone before her 2nd birthday. I worked at a dental office during the day and cleaned offices at night. I remember Michael, maybe 7 years old, sitting at the front desk of whatever office building I was cleaning, doing his homework under the fluorescent lights at 9 p.m. Sarah would be asleep in her stroller next to him. "Mom, why do you have to work so much?" Michael asked me once. "So you can have a better life than I did, baby," I told him. And I meant it. I really did. When Michael was 16, he wanted to go on a school trip to Washington, D.C. $800. I didn't have it. But I picked up extra weekend shifts for 2 months. I gave him that money in an envelope. The look on his face, the way he hugged me, that memory kept me warm for years. When Sarah was 14, all her friends had new iPhones. She never asked for one. She knew better. But I saw the way she looked at their phones, the way she'd excuse herself when they'd all pull them out to take pictures. So I worked overtime for 3 months, surprised her with it on her birthday. She cried. She told me I was the best mom in the world. I believed her. College was harder. Michael got into a good engineering school. State tuition was $18,000 a year. He got some scholarships, but I covered the rest. I took out a loan against my house, $60,000 total for 4 years. I told myself it was an investment in his future, in our future. "Mom, I'm going to pay you back," he promised at graduation. "Once I get a good job, I'm going to take care of you." Sarah wanted her MBA. Another $40,000, another loan, another promise. "You won't have to work forever, Mom. We're going to make sure you're taken care of." I worked until I was 58. Paid off those loans, both of them, every single dollar. Michael got his engineering job, $85,000 a year starting salary. I was so proud. He bought a house at 28, got married at 30, had 2 kids by 33. Sarah became a marketing director, $70,000 a year, married at 29. 2 kids by 31. They were living the lives I'd worked so hard to give them, but somewhere in there, something shifted. The calls changed. At first, it was small things. "Mom, can you watch the kids this weekend? We have plans." Of course I could. I loved my grandchildren. Then it was, "Mom, can you pick up diapers on your way over and maybe some groceries? I'll pay you back." She never did. Then it became bigger. "Mom, I'm short on the mortgage payment this month, just $500. I'll pay you back next month." Next month came. No mention of the $500. But a new request for $700. I told myself they were struggling, that young families have expenses, that I was doing what mothers do, but I started noticing other things. Michael's Facebook posts, pictures of them at nice restaurants, date nights every Friday, a new boat last summer, $30,000 boat. Meanwhile, I was eating ramen so I could send him $2,000 for his emergency roof repair. Sarah's Instagram, designer purses, weekend trips, their kitchen renovation with marble countertops, while I was idling my broken-down car and wearing shoes with holes in the soles. The visits changed too. They used to come over just because. Sunday dinners, holidays, random weekday evenings. Then it became only holidays. Then only major holidays, then only when they needed something. I started keeping track. Not intentionally at first, but I noticed patterns. In 2023, I saw Michael 6 times. 3 of those times he asked for money before leaving. 2 times he needed me to babysit while they went on trips. 1 time, Christmas, he stayed for an hour. Sarah came over 8 times. 5 times she needed money. 2 times she needed free babysitting. 1 time, Thanksgiving, she left early because they had another dinner to get to. My 59th birthday last year, Michael texted, "Happy birthday, Mom. Sorry we can't make it. Crazy busy. Love you." Sarah called. 5-minute conversation. "Happy birthday." "Hey, quick question. Can you lend me $600? I'll explain later." "Gotta run. I sent the money. I always sent the money because that's what mothers do, right? We give, we sacrifice, we put our children first, but sitting there on my 60th birthday, alone, with that cupcake and that candle, I started doing the real math. Not just the money I'd sent in the last 2 years, all of it. College, $100,000, down payment help, $15,000, Michael, $12,000, Sarah car repairs, home repairs, medical bills, vacations, emergencies, roughly $85,000 over the last 7 years. Babysitting free, but if I'd charged even 15 hour, approximately $18,000 worth of childcare, total $230,000. $230,000 plus countless hours, plus my own delayed dental work, delayed car repairs, delayed dreams. And what did I get? A text message on my birthday, 5 minutes on the phone. I sat there with that cupcake. I didn't eat it. I just stared at the flame flickering on that single candle, and I thought about something my own mother told me before she died. I was 40. She grabbed my hand and said, "Baby, don't let people use up all your giving. Save some for yourself." I didn't understand what she meant then. Sitting there alone at 60, I finally did. The candle burned down, wax dripped onto the frosting. I blew it out. I didn't make a wish. I just wondered, when exactly did I stop being their mother and become their ATM? The morning after my 60th birthday, I woke up with a strange feeling. Not anger, not sadness exactly, just clarity, the kind that makes everything look different even though nothing has actually changed. I made my coffee and sat at my kitchen table, the same table where I'd helped with homework, where I'd wrapped birthday presents at midnight, where I'd cried quietly after working double shifts. My phone sat there, silent. I wondered if they'd remember today, if maybe they'd call to apologize for missing yesterday. By noon, nothing. I did something I'd never done before. I opened my text messages and scrolled back, just reading, not responding, just looking at the pattern I'd been too close to see. Michael's texts from the last 6 months. "Mom, can you send $400? Car insurance is due. Emergency? Need $800. I'll explain later. Hey, can you watch the kids Saturday? We have plans. Mom, you there? Need to hear back ASAP about the $600. Not one. How are you? Not one. Just thinking about you." Every single message was a request. Sarah's texts. "Mom, Venmo me $500 when you can. Can you pick up the kids from school Tuesday and Thursday?" Something came up. "Need $300 for Emma's dance recital costume. Are you free this weekend? Need a babysitter?" I kept scrolling back. 1 year, 2 years, 3. The same pattern. Over and over. I thought about last Christmas. I'd bought gifts for everyone. 800 total. I wrapped them carefully, made a big dinner, turkey, stuffing, all their favorites, spent 2 days cooking. Michael's family arrived at 3 p.m. They left at 5,000 ppm. He hugged me on the way out and said, "Oh hey, I forgot to mention, my property tax is due. Can you help with 2,000? I'll pay you back after bonus season." Bonus season came in March. Never heard a word about that 2,000. Sarah came at 4 p.m., left at 6 p.m. She cornered me in the kitchen while I was cleaning up. "Mom, Jake's company is doing layoffs. We're scared. Can you help us with $500 just in case, for the mortgage?" Jake's company did have layoffs. He didn't get laid off. I saw on Facebook 2 weeks later that they went to Cabo. 5-star resort. But that $500? Never mentioned again. My friend Julie noticed something last month. We were having coffee and my phone rang. I saw it was Sarah. I didn't answer. You didn't answer, Julie said. You always answer. I'm tired, I told her. Julie looked at me for a long moment. When's the last time she called just to talk? I opened my mouth to answer. Nothing came out. I couldn't remember. When's the last time either of them asked how you're doing? Really asked. I thought about it, really thought about it. I don't know, I whispered. Julie reached across the table and held my hand. Honey, you know I love you, but I've watched this for years. They call when they need something. They come over when they need something. When's the last time they showed up for you? I felt tears building, but I pushed them back. They're busy. Young families are expensive. Young families are expensive, Julie agreed, but expensive enough that they can't call their mother on her birthday? Expensive enough that they can afford boats and vacations but can't afford to pay you back? Expensive enough that they never once ask if you need anything? I didn't answer. I couldn't. Did you teach them to treat you this way? Julie asked gently. Or did they learn that you'd always say yes? That question stayed with me for days. Did I teach them this? I thought about all those times I'd said yes when I should have said no, all those times I'd made excuses for them. They're stressed. They're struggling. They don't mean to forget. But they weren't forgetting. They just weren't thinking about me at all. I started testing something. I stopped reaching out first. Before, I'd text them every few days. How are the kids? How was your week? Just thinking about you. I stopped. 3 days passed. Nothing. A week. Nothing. 2 weeks. My phone rang. It was Michael. My heart lifted. Maybe he was checking on me. Maybe Julie was wrong. Hey, Mum. Quick question. Can you loan me 1,100? The furnace is acting up. I felt something inside me crack. I can't right now, Michael. I'm running low. Silence. Then, seriously? Mom, it's cold. The kids are cold. Have you called a repairman to look at it? Not yet. I wanted to see if you could help first. Of course he did. Why pay a repairman when Mom's wallet was available? Call a repairman, I said. Get a quote. See what's actually wrong. Fine. He sounded annoyed. I'll figure it out. He hung up. 2 days later, I saw on Facebook that his furnace was fine. He just needed to change the filter. A 20 fix he could have Googled. But he'd called me for 1,200 first. Sarah's birthday was last month. I'd always made a big deal about my kids' birthdays. Special dinner, cake, presents. This year, I sent a text. Happy birthday, honey. Love you. That's it. No offer to host dinner. No gift in the mail. She texted back, thanks, miss you. But she didn't call, didn't ask to see me, just miss you, and moved on. Her birthday came and went. I heard nothing else from her for 12 days. Then, Mom, can you help with $900? Emma needs braces. I stared at that text for a long time. Emma needed braces 6 months ago. Sarah had posted about the consultation on Instagram. She posted about getting quotes. She'd posted about their family, Disney trip. She posted about their anniversary dinner at a steakhouse, but she hadn't asked me about the braces until now, until she wanted money. I thought about all the birthdays I'd celebrated alone, the holidays where they stayed for an hour, the phone calls that only came when they needed something. I thought about my own mother's words. Don't let people use up all your giving. I thought about the $230,000. The broken air conditioning in my car, the dental work I couldn't afford, the vacation I'd never taken. I thought about sitting alone on my 60th birthday with a store-bought cupcake, and I wondered, how much of myself had I given away, and how much was left? I didn't send Sarah the 900, I just sat there, staring at my phone, finally understanding what I'd become in my children's eyes. Not Mom. Not the woman who raised them, not the person who sacrificed everything, just a wallet with a phone number. It happened on a Thursday. 3 weeks after my birthday. The day I finally saw everything clearly. I'd been having chest pains for 2 days. Not terrible, just uncomfortable, a tightness that wouldn't go away. I told myself it was stress, heartburn maybe. I took antacids. They didn't help. Wednesday night, the pain got worse. I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, wondering if I should go to the emergency room. But the copay was $200. I didn't have $200 to spare, not after sending Michael that $2,800 3 weeks ago, so I waited. Thursday morning, I called my doctor's office. They had an opening at 2 p.m. I took it. I sat in my car in the parking lot, trying to breathe through the tightness in my chest. My hands were shaking. I was scared, really scared. I called Michael. He was my emergency contact. He should know I was at the doctor. "Hey, Mom, kind of busy. What's up? I'm at the doctor's office. I've been having chest pains. They're seeing me in a few minutes. I just wanted you to know." "Oh?" A pause. "Is it serious?" "I don't know yet. That's why I'm here." "Okay, well, let me know what they say. Hey, actually, while I have you, I forgot to mention, we need to replace the water heater. It's $3,200. Can you help with half?" I sat there in my car, chest pains, doctor's office, scared. And he was asking me for $1,600. "Michael, I'm about to go in for chest pains." "Right, yeah. Sorry, text me after. About the water heater, just think about it. We really need it done by next week." He hung up. I sat there. The tightness in my chest felt worse. I wondered if it was my heart breaking or my heart attack. The doctor ran tests, EKG, blood work, everything. 2 hours of waiting and worrying. Finally, she came in. "Your heart is fine. It's anxiety, severe stress. Your blood pressure is high. When's the last time you took a vacation? When's the last time you did something just for yourself?" I couldn't remember. She prescribed medication for the anxiety, 85 with my insurance. She told me to reduce stress, practice self-care, consider therapy. I nodded. I left. I sat in my car in the parking lot with that prescription and just stared at it. Anxiety, stress. From what? From giving everything I had to people who couldn't even stay on the phone when I told them I was having chest pains. I drove home. My phone buzzed at a red light. A text from Sarah. "Hey, Mom, great news. We're taking the kids to Disneyland after all. We found a great deal. Can you watch our dog for the week? Also, can you send $400 for spending money? The kids want souvenirs. Thanks. Love you." I stared at that text. I'd just come from the doctor with anxiety from stress. I couldn't afford my own medication. I was having chest pains from the weight of everything. And she wanted $400 for souvenirs at Disneyland. Disneyland. The trip I'd told her 3 weeks ago I couldn't help with because I was broke after helping Michael. They'd found the money. They always found the money. For themselves. But now she wanted more. For souvenirs and free dog sitting. I pulled into my driveway. I sat there with the engine off. My hands were gripping the steering wheel so tight, my knuckles were white. I thought about the $230,000. I thought about my 60th birthday alone. I thought about Michael asking for $1,600 while I was having chest pains. I thought about Sarah asking for souvenir money while I couldn't afford my anxiety medication. I thought about my mother's words. "Don't let people use up all your giving." There was nothing left to give. They'd used it all up. I walked inside. My phone rang immediately. "Michael!" "Hey, did you get my text about the water heater?" "Michael," the doctor said, "I have severe anxiety from stress. My blood pressure is dangerously high." "Oh, that sucks. So, are you okay? I need to make some changes. I need to reduce stress." "Good, yeah, you should totally do that. Self-care and all that. So, about the water heater?" "No." Silence. "What?" "No. I can't help with the water heater." "Mom, we really need it. The kids need hot water for baths." "Then you'll need to figure it out. You make $85,000 a year, Michael. You can finance a water heater. Are you serious right now? After everything we've been through? You're really going to say no? After everything we've been through, those words. Like he'd been through something with me. Like he'd sacrificed something for me. What have we been through, Michael? I asked quietly. What? Tell me, what have we been through together? When's the last time you called me just to talk? When's the last time you asked how I was doing and actually waited for an answer? I'm busy, Mom. I have a family, a job, responsibilities. So do I. I have responsibilities too. To myself. This isn't like you. Maybe it should be. I hung up. My hands were shaking, my heart was pounding, but not from anxiety this time, from something else, something that felt like freedom and terror at the same time. Sarah called 10 minutes later. I didn't answer. She texted. Mom, Michael said, you're acting weird. Are you okay? Did something happen at the doctor? Call me. I stared at that text. She didn't call because she was worried. She called because Michael told her. I said no. She called because her wallet might be closing. I typed back, I'm fine. Cannot help with Disneyland money or watch the dog. Have a great trip. She called immediately. I didn't answer. She texted, Mom, what's going on? You're scaring me. Scaring her. I'd been having chest pains and she'd asked for souvenir money, but now I was scaring her because I said no. I turned my phone off. I sat in my living room in complete silence. The house felt different, lighter somehow. I thought about that prescription sitting in my purse, 85 I didn't have, for anxiety caused by giving everything to people who gave me nothing back. I thought about the water heater, the Disney souvenirs, the boat, the marble counters, the Cabo trip, the $230,000. I thought about sitting alone on my birthday. And I realized something that should have been obvious years ago. They didn't need me, they needed my money. And the moment I stopped being useful, I stopped existing to them. I couldn't unsee it now, I couldn't unfeel it. The truth was too clear, too sharp, too real. I'd spent 35 years being a mother, but somewhere along the way, I'd stopped being a person. It was time to remember who I was before I became their ATM. I didn't sleep that night. Not from anxiety this time, from clarity. I sat at my kitchen table with a notebook and a pen. I started writing, not my feelings, numbers, every dollar I could remember, sending them over the years. Every emergency, every just this once, every I'll pay you back. The list went on for 3 pages. By 3 a.m., I had a number. 230,000 was conservative. When I added the smaller things I'd forgotten, the grocery runs, the gas money, the can you grab this while you're out, requests that I always paid for, it was closer to $260,000. $260,000. I thought about what that money could have done for me. I could have retired early, traveled, fixed my car, fixed my teeth, bought a small house somewhere quiet. Instead, I was 60 years old with $1,400 in my bank account until my next paycheck. Working full-time when my body ached. Driving a car that barely ran. Taking anxiety medication I couldn't afford because I'd given everything to people who couldn't stay on the phone during my medical emergency. I wrote another list. This one hurt more. Things I'd sacrificed, retirement savings, 0 emergency fund, 0 vacation in 7 years, 0 new clothes in 2 years, 0 dental work needed, $4,000 I don't have, car repairs needed, $2,500 I don't have, my own birthday celebration, store-bought cupcake alone. Things they'd spent money on while owing me, Michael, boat, $3,000, new furniture, $8,000, weekly date nights, 3 vacations in 2 years, Sarah, kitchen renovation, $25,000, designer purses, Disneyland, Cabo, anniversary cruise. I sat there, looked. The truth was printed in black ink. Undeniable. They had money. They had money for everything they wanted. They just didn't want to spend it on things they could get me to pay for. The sun started coming up. I was still sitting there. My phone was still off. I turned it on. 17 missed calls. 12 from Sarah, 5 from Michael. 23 text messages. I didn't read them all. I read enough. Sarah, Mom, please call me back. You're worrying me. Sarah, why are you being like this? Sarah, I don't understand what I did wrong. Sarah, we need to talk about this. Michael, Mom, this is ridiculous. Call me. Michael, you're overreacting. Michael, you're overreacting. Michael, Dad never would have treated us like this. That last text, that one made me laugh. A bitter, tired laugh. Dad. His father left when he was 3. Her father left when she was a baby. I was the one who stayed. I was the one who worked 2 jobs. I was the one who sacrificed everything. And now I was the villain because I said no. I made coffee. I sat there thinking about what to do next. I called Julie. It was 6:03 a.m. She answered anyway. I was wondering when you'd call, she said. You okay? I told her everything. The doctor, the chest pains, Michael's water heater request, Sarah's souvenir money, the lists I'd made. What do I do? I asked. What do you want to do? Julie asked back. I thought about it, really thought about it. I want to stop, I said quietly. I want to stop being their bank. I want to stop sacrificing myself for people who don't even see me. Then stop, Julie said simply. They'll be angry. They're already treating you like you're nothing. What's the difference? She was right. I don't know how to stop being their mother, I whispered. You're not stopping being their mother, Julie said gently. You're stopping being their doormat. There's a difference. A mother loves her children. A doormat lets them walk all over her. You can love them and still have boundaries. Boundaries. I'd never had boundaries with them. I'd never said no. Not really. Not until yesterday. They're going to say I'm selfish, I said. Let them. You've been selfless for 35 years. Maybe it's time to be a little selfish. Maybe it's time to save yourself. After we hung up, I sat there for a long time. Then I did something I should have done years ago. I opened my banking app. I looked at my account. 1,035 left until payday in 10 days. I went to the settings. I removed Michael and Sarah as authorized users on my account. Years ago, I'd added them for emergencies. They'd never used it for emergencies, just convenience. Then I went to my contacts. I didn't delete their numbers, but I did something else. I created a new rule for myself. A boundary. No more money without a written agreement. No more I'll pay you back without a payment plan. No more emergencies without proof. No more anything without reciprocity. But more than that, I created a rule for me. No more sacrificing my health, my well-being, my life for people who wouldn't sacrifice their convenience for me. At 8 a.m., my phone started ringing. Michael. I let it go to voicemail. He left a message. Mom, you need to call me back. This is serious. We need to talk about your behavior. You can't just cut us off like this. We're your kids. Your behavior. Like I was a child being scolded. Like saying no was some kind of crime. Sarah called next. I let it go to voicemail too. Mom, I'm really hurt. I don't know what's happening with you, but this isn't okay. We need our mother right now. Please call me back. We need our mother. Not, I hope you're okay after your doctor visit. Not, I'm sorry I asked for money when you were dealing with a health scare. Just, we need. I saved both voicemails, not to torture myself, as evidence. Evidence that I was making the right choice. I got dressed. I drove to the pharmacy. I filled my anxiety prescription. 85. It hurt to spend it, but I spent it on myself, for once. Then I drove to a coffee shop. I ordered a fancy latte. 6. I never spent 6 on coffee, but I did today. I sat there, drinking my expensive coffee, taking my anxiety medication, and feeling something I hadn't felt in years. Light. Like I'd been carrying a weight I didn't realize was there until I set it down. I couldn't change them. I'd spent years hoping they'd change, hoping they'd see me, hoping they'd appreciate what I'd given. But I could change what I did. I could change what I accepted. I could change who I was willing to be. I wasn't their bank anymore. I wasn't their unpaid babysitter. I wasn't their emotional support system who got nothing in return. I was Janet, 60 years old, still here, still standing, still worthy of being treated with dignity. They'd taught me that my only value was what I could give them. It was time I taught myself something different. The first week was the hardest. Not because I missed giving them money, because I was fighting 35 years of conditioning. Every time my phone rang, my instinct was to answer and say yes. Every time I saw their names, I felt guilt creeping in. Old voices in my head saying, "Good mothers don't say no, and family comes first." But I'd learned something. Family should go both ways. I kept my phone on silent. I checked messages once a day. I responded when I felt like it, not when they demanded it. Michael texted, "Mom, we got the water heater fixed. Had to put it on a credit card, 22% interest. Thanks for that." I didn't respond. Sarah texted, "We found someone else to watch the dog. Cost us $300. Could have saved that if you'd helped." But whatever, I didn't respond. They wanted me to feel guilty, to feel responsible for their choices. But I was learning something Julie had told me. Their poor planning wasn't my emergency. On day 8, I did something I hadn't done in 7 years. I went to a travel website. I looked at beach vacations, small towns. Quiet places, nothing fancy, just somewhere I could rest. I found a little cottage in North Carolina, ocean view, $800 for a week in October. I stared at that price. Old Janet would have thought, "That's too much," and closed the browser. New Janet clicked, "Book now." I used money from my next paycheck, money that would have gone to Michael or Sarah's next emergency. For the first time in years, I had something to look forward to. I started making other changes too, small ones. I called my dentist, scheduled the work I'd been putting off, $4,000. They had a payment plan, $200 a month for 20 months. I could do that now. Now that I wasn't sending $2,000 here and $1,500 there to people who never paid me back, I took my car to a mechanic, got the air conditioning fixed, new tires, $1,800 total. I put half on a credit card, paid half cash. My car felt like a car again, not a punishment. I went shopping, not at the thrift store, at a real store. I bought 3 new outfits. Nothing expensive, just new. Clothes without holes or stains, clothes that made me feel like a person worth dressing. Each purchase felt revolutionary. Each time I spent money on myself, I heard their voices, "You could have helped us with that money." But then I'd hear Julie's voice, "When did they last spend money on you?" The answer was never. At work, something shifted too. I'd been working overtime every chance I got, extra hours to send them extra money. But now I didn't need to. I started leaving at 5 p.m., on time, like everyone else. My coworker Lisa noticed. "You're leaving early." "On time," I corrected. "I'm leaving on time." "Good for you," she said. "We should get dinner sometime. There's a new Italian place." Old Janet would have said, "I can't afford it." New Janet said, "I'd love that." We went that Friday, spent 2 hours talking and laughing. The bill was $40. I didn't even flinch. I was making friends again, having a life again, being a person again. 3 weeks after I said no, Michael called, not texted. Called. I answered. I was ready. "Mom, Michael. We need to talk about what's going on." "Okay, talk." "You've been different. Distant. You're not helping like you used to. Sarah and I are worried about you." "Worried about me or worried about your access to my bank account?" Silence. "That's not fair," he said finally. "Isn't it? When's the last time you called to ask how I'm doing?" "I'm calling now because you want something, not because you care. That's not true. We care about you." "Then prove it. Tell me one thing about my life right now, one thing I'm dealing with, one thing I care about, one thing that doesn't involve money." Silence. Long silence. "You can't, can you?" I said quietly. "You don't know anything about my life because you've never asked." "Mom, this isn't..." I had severe anxiety, Michael. Chest pains. The doctor said I need to reduce stress. Do you know what's stressing me? Giving everything I have to people who treat me like an ATM. "We don't treat you like an ATM. You asked me for $1,600 while I was having chest pains at the doctor's office." Another silence. "I didn't know it was that serious," he said weakly. "You didn't ask. You just asked for money and hung up. What do you want from us?" His voice had an edge now. Frustration. "I want you to see me. I want you to treat me like a person, not a resource. I want you to call because you miss me, not because you need something." "This is ridiculous. You're our mother." Mothers help their kids. Mothers love their kids. They don't fund their entire lives while sacrificing their own. I hung up. My hands were shaking, but not from fear, from power, from finally saying what needed to be said. Sarah called an hour later. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail. Mom, Michael told me about your conversation. I think you're being really unfair. We're your children. We'll always be your children. You can't just abandon us because we've needed help. That's what family does. We help each other. Help each other. That phrase, like it had ever gone both ways. I deleted the voicemail. That night, I sat in my living room with a cup of tea, my favorite kind, the expensive kind I used to think was wasteful. I looked around my house. Same furniture, same walls, same life. But everything felt different. I wasn't waiting for the phone to ring anymore. I wasn't checking my bank account in panic. I wasn't making myself small so they could take up more space. I was just being, existing, living. For the first time in decades, I wasn't defined by what I could give. I was defined by who I was, and who I was enough. The next morning, I got a group text from both of them. We think you should talk to someone, a therapist. This behavior isn't normal. We're concerned. I read it twice. Then I typed back one sentence. I have a therapist. She says, setting boundaries with people who take advantage of me is the healthiest thing I've ever done. I hit send. Then I blocked them both for 30 days. Not forever. Just 30 days. 30 days to prove to myself I could exist without them. 30 days to build a life that was mine. 30 days to remember who Janet was before she became everyone's solution. It felt like the first breath after being underwater for 35 years. I'm writing this from that cottage in North Carolina I booked. It's been 4 months since I said no. 4 months since I stopped being their ATM and started being Janet again. The ocean is outside my window. I can hear the waves. I'm drinking coffee on the porch in the morning sun, and for the first time in 35 years, I'm not worried about who needs what from me. Let me tell you what happened after those 30 days. I unblocked them. I didn't call. I just unblocked and waited. 3 days later, Michael texted, "Can we talk?" We met for coffee. Neutral ground, a cafe halfway between our homes. He looked uncomfortable. Good. Comfortable people don't change. "Mom, I've been thinking," he started, "about what you said, about us only calling when we need something." I waited. I'd learned the power of silence. "You were right," he said quietly. "I didn't realize how much we were asking, how much you were giving. I thought that's just what you did, what you wanted to do." "Because I never said no," I said. "So you never had to think about it." "I'm sorry." He looked at me. Really looked at me. "I'm sorry we took advantage of you. I'm sorry I asked for money while you were having chest pains. That was..." His voice cracked. "That was terrible. I was terrible. I didn't let him off the hook. Not yet." "What are you going to do differently?" I asked. "I want to pay you back. Not all of it. I know that's impossible. But something. $500 a month. I can do that." "I don't want your money, Michael. I want your time. I want phone calls that aren't about emergencies. I want to see my grandkids without being the free babysitter. I want to matter to you as a person, not a resource." He nodded, tears in his eyes. "I can do that. I want to do that. We're trying. It's not perfect. He still forgets to call sometimes. But when he does call now, he asks about me first. Last week, he asked about my trip. He listened. He didn't ask for anything. It's a start." Sarah was harder. She didn't apologize. She came to my house unannounced 2 weeks after I unblocked them. "I don't understand why you're punishing us," she said, standing in my doorway, not asking to come in, demanding answers. "I'm not punishing you. I'm protecting myself." "From your own children?" "From people who only see me as useful. Even if they're my children." "That's not fair, Mom." "Life isn't fair, Sarah. I learned that working 2 jobs while your father's disappeared. You're learning it now." She left angry. We didn't speak for 6 weeks. Then, last month, she called. Her voice was different, quieter. "Mom, I took Emma to the orthodontist. She was scared. She wanted her grandma, and I realized I couldn't call you because I'd burned that bridge because I'd only ever called when I wanted something." I listened. "I miss you," she said. "Not your money. You." "I miss my mom." "I'm still here," I said. "I've always been here. You just had to see me. We're rebuilding." Slowly. She came over last week. Just a visit. She brought flowers. We talked for 2 hours. She didn't ask for anything. When she left, she hugged me, really hugged me, and whispered, "Thank you for not giving up on us. But here's the truth, the hard truth. I don't know if it'll last. I don't know if they've really changed or if they're just being good until they need something again. And I've made peace with that because I've changed. That's what matters. I have boundaries now, real ones, written down, non-negotiable, no loans without payment plans, no babysitting without notice and reciprocity, no guilt trips, no manipulation, no taking advantage, and most importantly, my well-being comes first. My bank account has $8,400 in it right now, the most I've had in a decade. I'm building an emergency fund, for me, for my future. I got my dental work done. I can smile without pain now. My car runs beautifully. Cold air in summer, heat in winter. The small things I'd given up. I have friends again. Julie and I have dinner every Friday. Lisa from work and I took a weekend trip to the mountains last month. I'm not isolated anymore. I'm taking a painting class, something I'd wanted to do for 20 years but never had time or money for. I'm terrible at it, but I'm happy. I'm dating, nothing serious. But I'm open to it. A man named Robert asked me to dinner last week. I said yes. We talked for 3 hours. He paid. He insisted. It felt strange, someone giving to me. I could get used to it. If stories like this resonate, stay connected. Like and subscribe. We talk about real things here. I'm not going to tell you everything is perfect now. It's not. Some days I still feel guilty. Some days I wonder if I was too harsh. Some days I miss being needed. But then I remember sitting alone on my 60th birthday with a store-bought cupcake. I remember chest pains at the doctor's office while my son asked for money. I remember the $260,000 I gave to people who couldn't spare 5 minutes to ask how I was. And I remember that love isn't supposed to empty you. Real love fills you up. I spent 35 years teaching my children that my worth was in what I could give them. It took me 60 years to learn that my worth was in who I am. I'm still their mother. I still love them. But I love myself now too. And that's not selfish. That's survival. No one warns you what happens when you're always the one who gives. Eventually, there's nothing left to give. Not even yourself. I was disappearing, $1, one favor, one sacrifice at a time. But I found myself again. Here on this porch, with this coffee, with this ocean, with this life that's finally mine. I'm 60 years old. I thought my life was over. Turns out, it's just beginning. And this time, I'm not giving it away to anyone, not even to the people I love most. Because I finally learned the difference between being a good mother and being a doormat. And I choose me. Every single day now, I choose me. That's my story, that's my truth, that's my new beginning.